People always talking about how Bajans have so much talent. But trust me when I say this, you have no idea.
And worked with a young lady. Because I know 25 years ago what I went through when I started to talk about music business management and the lashes that people brought to the table. And it was vicious in terms of, you know, characterizing in a very derogative way and stuff like that. I mean, if with God and my family and stuff, it got me here that I ain't, you know, I ain't in cuckoo land, you know. And the same hypocritical people from government back down that now would want to jump and talk about music, but they don't know the F they're talking about, because basically they then continue to perpetuate a whole morass of ignorance and detriment to youth, because they continually fool themselves that they know, and they would not allow nobody to come to the table to really set the structure properly up that everybody could eat. I'm telling you, this business is lovely. This business is lucrative for everybody. You as a journalist, you could be walking home with 150 a year. Easy, that's at the base level. Why? Because you're going out there so regular, you're doing so much features with so many different artists and models and this body and the next body that people buying it stuff. These are the concepts they got. But not this from about exporting. Export music, my asshole. Who wants our music? Nobody.
Nobody does.
Let me be real.
Nobody wants it.
Nobody want it.
They don't even know it is.
Thank you. But when a youngster come up and he's doing spoken word, when a youngster come up and he's doing some R&B rap, suddenly something wrong with him. So we gotta beat him. No, let the youngster develop. He ain't doing real spoken word, he ain't doing real R&B rap. But if he don't continue, he would not be able to evolve. And that is what it is about. That's why it's called creative. Then a corporate shit that you put 6 walls and walk and they sit down at the desk, and a man is bringing a paper to you and tell you good morning, and you will take care, you'll take care. No, creative is that you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, have some sex, go out there and write one of the baddest songs in the world, write some of the baddest pieces that you could ever think about. Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, have breakfast, go run up on the beach and come back, go out there and hit another good thing. That's what creative is all about. It ain't about this bullshit that these people putting down. If you feel like getting up at 12 o'clock in the morning, you should be able to get, because you're creative. Because you land in the bed doesn't mean something wrong with you. It's just that, look, the vibe. And that is what these people here are missing. And they're trying to kill that. And as long as they continue killing the creative spirit, nothing is going to happen. You could talk about music business till the cows jump over the moon, actually. And believe you me, they're going to come back and give you milk, and you're going to still be talking about music business. Because you don't know what you're speaking of. I'm proud, you know why I'm proud? The way I could walk and I want to deal with youngsters. I know what to tell me. I know the obstacles they put in front of me. And I'm here still, kicking ass. Got mine at the top, working with the top female artists in the world. You don't get there by being a dum-dum. You don't get nobody pushing at that level by being an idiot. But I still don't want to give me my props, and I love it. I love that they don't want to give me my props, because they got the shame, the heart hurting. All I ask you Almighty for me to do, let me do this till I was 202. And with the day that you want me to done it, tap me on the back and tell me, all right, big dog, tomorrow you can go roll. Okay, baby. Thank you, big dog. But I still want a youngster that I can tell you, all right, listen, did you go and set up such and such? Because we're talking about passing it on. I trained him as a manager. That's what I do. I'm training him as a manager. So what I do, you think I study books, and God, he said no before a computer. He managing Alex and Corey. I stay back. Let him learn. Let him get his feet wet. Yes, I'm there to give guidance and stuff. But really, basically, Barry is who controls the Barbados operation. Even when he come out, when we bring him up, when we come out overseas, he's still anything that's deferred to. Hey, talk to Barry, because you got to build your muscle. If you don't build a muscle, how you are going to do anything at all? And nobody don't want to build nobody muscle here. Nobody don't want to build anybody. Oh yeah. Okay. So as a manager, so you want it? Well, you know, I've been doing this thing for 20 years, and you don't know. I work with this body and this body. So you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go in that corner and sit down till I'm ready for you. What's that about? How is she going to create? I got young ladies that come to me and tell me that they went to the studios. I had to get fucked for nearly 3 months before they could even get before the mic. I know those stories. Nobody can't tell Peter Headley. He tell you, just come here and talk to me. 2 and 3 in the morning, you see young ladies, come one of them a young lady turn up here at 3 o'clock. And they said, oh, you could do that. She said, Mr. Peter, you don't do me nothing. She said, Mr. Peter, you don't do me nothing. You can just listen to me. We talked about 5:30. She said, darling, I did run it the whole day. Look, I can go upstairs and lie down. If you want to lie down here, lie down. But I'll go down by the kitchen. There's a bedroom there. But how you going, darling? When you're ready to get up and you want to leave, just click the lock on the door and go along by your business. I got the little trick down here lying down. So I tell you, look, I can get some breakfast together. And he was like, what? He saw some girl let go everything. Tell me who do what and all the thing. And I said, listen, and I can't. The problem is that I ain't got a team here that we could just eradicate people and nobody don't know what happened to them. Because that's what we like to do. That's what we like to do.
Just do it.
You know? Like, the resources I don't want to bring to the table right now. There's a lot of carcasses that would be left.
What is a manager?
It can be defined in many different spectrums. But for me, a manager is someone who loves, cares, nurtures, develops, and ultimately package artists, model, whatever type of entertainment person you are into a money-making machine.
Is it a positive thing to have, like, you know, to have some stars who have their parents or uncles or family members managing them? Is that a good idea?
It's very dependent. I mean, if you have an uncle that has some background in it, if you have a...
No, I mean somebody who never did before.
Well, no. The music industry graveyard is paved with a lot of people who made the mistake of having their parents work with them. One of the best examples I've always had of a parent is Joe Jackson. I do not subscribe to what the media does to him, but if we really carefully understand that Joe Jackson brought 9 kids out of what we call a ghetto and put them in the limelight, controlled the music industry for years and made all of them multi-millionaires, and none of them end up on drugs, none of them end up broke. That is amazing. As a juxtaposition to when you know that a lot of kids, their parents took the money and totally squandered it, totally destroyed it. They don't have any access to going to college afterwards, nothing like that. So that, you know, that's the best example. I'm not saying that there are not other parent manager types who has had some major success, but that is the one, that is the success that fuels me. Looking at Joe Jackson and what he did with the Jackson 5 and subsequently Jeanette and LaToya and the others.
How was it for you when you came back the first time after went overseas?
It was twofold. Before I finally left Barbados, I was traveling a whole bunch. I was going to a lot of conferences. And I found that when I came back, I had to like readjust my brain and my head, and I didn't understand what was happening. But I was being fueled differently, and Barbados was not ready for that. And so I would come back, and I would have to make sure I get up and run the next morning, go swimming, anything to take away the energy. Because every time you try to exhibit it here, you would be told that you're crazy, you'd be told that you're arrogant, so it was confusing to me. And then when I speak on certain things that I was involved in, I'd be told I was a liar. And I mean, for a youngster, I mean, you know, a point where you just come back and you know you sat down with the Jacksons. Well, you know, because you weren't there, I can't really express my experience. So I subsequently, you know, one day, you know, I was just home and the phone rang, and one of the connections that I had said to me, hey Peter, why don't you come to the States, fail, and make $1 million? And that concept was a little bit disturbing to me, because coming out of the environment that we have here, automatically failure is something that you don't want to subscribe to. But it took me 5 to 10 years to understand what they meant. Because you cannot get success unless you get a lot of no's. Because you're building your muscle, and you're building your muscle, and you're learning much more how to become more sophisticated, how to become more polished, how to become more shrewd about what you're dealing with. That does not happen in one day. And that's the point that has to be driven home here, because our society is so a now society that it does not understand Look, I said to the youngsters last night, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
I can believe that.
It takes 10 years to be overnight success. So when you see all this talk about overnight success, and I don't want to go into Malcolm Gladwell and the outliner stuff and thing where we talk about you have to practice for 100,000 hours or 10,000 hours before you see a different level of operation. But even if a kid come out and he start being a success at 5, you still have to look back and realize that that kid might at 1 be hitting the ball without anybody telling him to hit it. And he might not have had any formal training. That kid at 5 might have been, before a piano, just banging away, banging away, banging away. He might not have had a formal dynamic, but that adds up to a time when it becomes that point where it catapults that kid into somebody saying he's a genius or whatever. But the thing is that it's practice.
It is.
It's practice. One of the things that hurts me here is that everybody think that, pardon me, you can get up today and tomorrow you become, look, Rihanna's backstory is not told a lot. But Rihanna was knocking on doors here in Barbados for a minute. She was knocking.
Okay.
But everybody only wants to show you the part of when she did this and that. But she was knocking on doors and got turned back and got refused and got this and that and thing. Her parents and whoever connected her did what they had to do, and this thing. But she could not get to the top like that just because somebody come and pick her up today and it happened. No, it doesn't work like that. And if you feed the youngsters that kind of proposal, it doesn't make them work. You got to work at this thing. Every day I got to get up and work. I can't assume that because Miles is running with Adele and Charlie's running with this body and these bodies doing that, I got to be ahead of the curve. I got to always be coming up with ideas. I got to be coming up with the opportunity dynamics. Like, well, okay, I got to be reading the marketplace. I got to know, this is happening now. Do I get ahead? What trends are happening here?
Yeah.
And then what's the parallel trends here? So do I run with this here or do I do here? It is a constant.
Helps you to think out of the box and
But you
be
have
creative.
to.
Yeah.
I could not get Miles working with Adele and Tally doing what he do if I did thinking straight for him, because the doors are not open for somebody from the Caribbean to no, you think they like Mike Rihanna out there? You really think so?
They don't.
These young people down here talking the foolishness. Listen, man, them people, my man, them people say all sorts of things. You gotta swallow it and decide, okay, man, all right, okay. Because if you really internalize it, man, believe you me.
I think her management team as well as herself are very intelligent people. Because people would say, oh, man, she got this. She has done it for very long, and she's been there now for how long now? How many hours?
Well, the thing is, you see, that's the problem with Barbados. We are so insecure. We don't want to admit it.
No, she is brilliant.
No, we are insecure as a country. We exhibit insecurity. So what happens is that when success comes, we are very timid to be able to own it. We are not confident in owning our own success. Okay. Because of our insecurity. We hide our insecurity behind the jargon of going and being educated. But that's just regurgitation. I mean, I went to school and just put a book in front of you. If you remember the damn thing, you could write it totally next to your pass exam. But how does that translate when you leave? When you come outside now, you can't put you have not developed a problem solving dynamic or psychology, because yes, learning Spanish don't mean that I could go to a Spanish country and speak it. Yeah. Because there's not a valuable practical dynamic of what is happening. Learning math and doing pie charts and stuff. How do I apply that to when I'm going into a negotiation and I gotta do splits and stuff like that, because it's not applicable to the everyday world. And in the 21st century, we are still feeding up an educational system that is obsolete and just does not fit what is happening, the evolving of our society. It just does not fit. Our social, our legal, our legislative situations are not moving. That's what makes an economy move. Not somebody getting up and talking about, John Keynes and this body, the next body. It is not that. Not paying lip service to the cultural industries. really getting behind the force and the drive of what the cultural industry really is, and opening up the floodgates so that all of the creative juices can really coalesce, and not creative juices only in terms of a performing person, but the person that's in the background that's formulating the business. Because you have to be creative in formulating your business, or not you will get trapped again. Yeah. When the kids came and he's saying, like, Mr. Headley, you talk about 5 million. I said, listen, I like to talk about 5 million because whenever you end up, you're going to only get 500,000. If so much. I said, so you always got to talk 5, 10, 15 million. Because when you end up, you look, one of the things that I preach to everybody I deal with, I don't give a shit how much money you make. I work to make sure how much money you will keep. There's a difference. I don't care. I around people that make millions, and if I tell you what will happen to them, they ain't got the money. They're scrambling basically because it's not about how much you make; it's about how much you keep. So when for Miles and Tally, I have them. Miles owns his own company, so Miles is not paid as Miles Robertson. He's paid through his company. So we are talking about asset building. It ain't nothing to do with how much money you're making now. We're talking about buying the right annuities in terms of do it mature in 10 years. It's not a lot of money. You're gonna be putting out $50 million, $5,000, $2,000, and you put it in a particular package. Now, at the time, the artist might not see and understand because the artist want all of the money one time. No, I gotta put aside this 5 here. It might take 10 years to grow for you, but at least if anything happens to you. Look at what's happening here in Barris, I was speaking to one of my contemporaries in the industry about the guys that are around my age are dying, you know, and they're sick and, you know, this and that. And there's no sort of setup, medical, annuity-wise, nothing, to make sure that they can be comfortable for any other days that they have. Or, if not them, for the family for when they're gone, because there's no estate planning. And because they don't have anything called an estate, because there's never been any conceptualization of asset building. Because you just think somebody sings a song, you pay them $2, and you take away all the money and walk around and tell people that you're a manager. That's not what it is. As I said at the seminar yesterday, you're managing the person, the kids, the grandkids, the great-grandkids. We're talking now, we have to start thinking generational dynamics and stop thinking about it's all about I don't give a shit. My kids can eat it, the grandkids, but I want somebody to be using it 25, 30, 100 years from now. Why Elvis could die nearly all these other years as a drug out so, and he stayed up in there making millions and millions of dollars.
And the albums or whatever else he had put out.
Because why? Somebody was in the background thinking outside the box and doing the assets building, structuring. That's necessary. Richard Stubb got a situation for years and he still got to be running around the place begging people for money. And that is cool. And if you get near him, he will want to tell you that he's the only one know anything about this something. But after 30 years of running something, you can't even be paying yourself $25,000 a month. And I ain't talking about when you put on the show. It could have been a big operational dynamic year round. This year you put on the Richard Stubb Teen Talent Show. Next month you do this here. You got strategic management positionings and stuff. Money will keep flowing. But they don't want us to think like that. They want us to think like how that fool yesterday come talking a bunch of crap. Because honestly, I engage him because it's fun to me. But really, what was the value of it?
What was the point?
Huh?
What was the point?
Thank you. It wasn't nothing because nobody didn't know his ass. So what was it about you coming to try to interject yourself, trying to speak perfectly? And when I heard him talk, I heard Phil Phillips. Well, Phil Phillips, the only body who knows them kind of stupid words that don't relate to the idiom that you're dealing with. So you know,
just stop playing, say what you have to say, and move on.
But that is not something that we encourage here. I'm not saying that over the world is encouraged too, but I'm saying Barbados don't encourage you to really talk plain. As soon as you talk plain, it doesn't matter, you're crazy.
Not only that, your income from nowhere, quote unquote, well, you ain't known, or as you say, you're not well educated. So, but most of the time, being well educated was getting in trouble.
Well, yeah, no,
From experience.
I don't worry about that because basically, I tell anybody, I intelligent. I know about the education part. Yes, I did the educational part, but that would make me intelligent.
It's what my grandma used to call a common sense idiot.
Well, I don't even qualify them to that level. But I could say this honestly. Yeah, I did what I had to do when I was here. I mean, obviously, your mom sent you to school, your dad pushing you to things, so you do that. But I could tell anybody my shifting came when I was 14 years. I heard a group called Earth and Fire on the radio, and immediately they attracted me with what they were singing. I mean, and I went hell bent on a mission to find out who these people were. And between 16 and 17, I finally got the information, and I wrote to them. And they sent back and they said to me, "You're not a fan. These are the books that we want you to check out." And one was This Business of Music, one was Back to Eden, one was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and Good News Bible. Yeah. So, and I saw when I started reading these stuff, I saw a upgrade in my schoolwork. Then I stopped eating meat, and I saw another uptick in the way my thing was going. And by the time I left school and I went to community college and stuff like that, I was banging, I was kicking ass, and it was not anything. Look, I was the most shocked person when I went to community college, and I was doing advanced accounts. I used to get 2 in math at school, 2, and that would have been a very strong 2. I ain't talking about a weak 2. That's my top dynamic, a strong 2. So when I did at community college doing advanced accounts, now I started to pinch myself because I could not believe it. But then I remembered in the processing of getting a lot of the books that Earth and the Fire suggested to me, they had also, I had got 2 books, one called Astroeconomics and one called Astro Accounts. And so we are talking about lunar ways of when you spend your money at a particular time. So by the time I got to do that, these concepts were just banging. So I keep saying this all the time, no disrespect to Common Mayor, no disrespect to community college, but believe you me, my life lessons and intelligence came when I get into the music business and when I follow certain precepts that Earth and Fire and Morris White presented to me, and it has to do with spiritual baselings. It has nothing to do with church. I'm talking about your spirituality. You're tapping into that energy force so that you can really plug. And that's why I'm so enamored about creative things, because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and He created. So hey, how you can't come at me? I don't care who you are. You can't come at me. Who are the names that are perpetuated in propriety? The creative people, the writers, the philosophers. Those are the people that people quote. Eons and eons and centuries on. The music of the Bachs, and the Liszt's, and the Stravinskys, and the Mozarts. Those are the things that people now locked into 20 and 30 eons later. So how the hell you could come at me and think that you could bother me? I deal with the creative muse. We sit down, we talk, we feed. For people that don't understand, they can tell you're into obeying, you're into this. But when you are into the creative muse, you are capable of tapping into any parallel genre or universe and doing what you need to do.
Is that why people try to censor art?
Oh, definitely. Because if art is allowed to blossom the way it could blossom, it's a total power shift. It's a total power shift. You can imagine if we had gotten the arts up and I had owned this property and all the other properties down, so look, I own this whole gap. So what I did, I might have this as my main residence, but now next door to me is a beautiful rehearsal space and this and that. But artists know that every weekend they can come through. Not only the music people, but the artists can come through and put up their paintings. And the spoken word people can come through and put up their CDs and stuff. And the painters and the visual artists can come through. So every weekend now, you're talking about millions of dollars of people and power. After time, that thing is going to exert, and people are going to be like, oh my God. Because when the weekend finish and the week finish, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars that have been moved. And if the artist started, and then it expand to the artist's family and the artist's friends. So that means now if you got 100 artists and you do another 100 people around that, you build it. Now when you come now in the week, now you got to go to the bank. You go to the bank and put it on $40,000 and $50,000. You could imagine 50 artists doing that every week. So you could imagine now the kind of paradigm shift that is going to happen.
Yeah.
They don't want that. A politician still feel like he can walk up to your house without even speaking to you and come and tell you about he want you to vote. And you're saying, but sir, don't you see I'm having a meeting? But you can't do that. Oh, he's the politician, so no, I'm having a meeting. Please, man. Are you a fucking idiot? But you can only do that if you got your power gridded. When you don't got your power gridded, they can frighten you and make you believe, okay, they're waving the flag of the cultural industry bills and we will input $50 million. Well, they input $50 million shit. They ain't gonna do one fuck.
They won't. They also said that the last budget, they think, I stand corrected, but they're supposed to build a new rehearsal space or theater space or somewhere close to Spring Garden or something like that. So,
oh yeah, I heard it. But that's nonsense. That's just blow air again. Because what happened, a few people that call themselves artists kick up a little dust, and to assuage them, you know, these always come out and say that we can do this, but nothing is going to happen. Look, until artists understand that if you do not develop any power, going to a meeting to sit down with the ministers and whatever else you do means nothing, because you don't have no bargaining power. In the industry, we call it your negotiating chips are not there. If you're playing poker, you want 1 million chips on your table when you're banging out. You don't want 5 chips. 5 chips don't allow you to pursue a strategy. You want 2 million chips so that when you decide to say, I play $50,000 a hand. Even if you lose, you do not have to get scary. So you can pursue your strategy continually because you got enough chips. When you go to the marketplace with these people, what are the chips that you're taking to the table? Chips. You're going begging. You're going pleading. You're going giving these people a power that they don't have. Notice something I crop over. Why all these ministers is want to be seen at all the fests and stuff. And after that, you can't get them to even come by your house to say hello. But I crop over that at all the fests. One of the bugbears that I have, and that's why I would love, I don't know when it would be able to happen, because it has to happen from the artists. The artists got to get the balls to get up and say, look, we know that there's a guy called Peter Headley out there. We know that he plays with the biggest of the dogs. We want him to come here and spend a week with us. And what I'm speaking of is that we have a crop over festival that generates at least upward of $150 million a year. Less than 2% of that comes back to all the participating artists. Isn't that something, in my economic class, finance class, something definitely got to be wrong. Something definitely got to be wrong. If you are at the bugbear of generation of income and revenue, and you only holding 2%, less than 2% of it every year for the last 25 years. There's no artist or no participating artists that have been in crop over for the last 15 years that can tell you comfortably that they have $500,000 or $600,000 in their bank account.
Of course not. Every year they would get a car.
But that's what I'm saying.
That, get another car, sell
but
that.
that's what I'm saying. And these fools continue to perpetuate the plantocracy dynamic. I don't want no effing car. I will walk. I'll catch the bus. I'll ride a bicycle. I could got $2 million and ride a bicycle. What, so they can change me for going $2 million? Thank you. But you buy into all sorts of foolery. You barely get $100,000, and oh, you know, we have to move to the what's the newest thing called? I realize people is living in gullies now, call them gated communities. When they grown up them places that they living in gullies, we used to run through there and pelt big rocks and hunt monkeys and things. And now guy telling me, oh, you know, I'm living in this terrace. I said, my man. Daddy gully that we used to run through. And go gear the terrace. You're telling me about, are you a crazy motherfucker? But these guys now walking around with all of this. No. One of the things I've always laughed at. A guy would go to school and come out of a rural district. Mom and dad working in the agricultural field. And send that motherfucker to the best school in Barbados and onward to university. Out of working in the rural agricultural. And that greasy fuck, as soon as he graduates, he cannot come and look for his mother or father. Because no, we don't.
You want to be associated with those people.
We don't go through there. We don't. Wait.
Where you come from?
No. Then they married some fool. And, have mother come over on this particular day because any other day we are seeing such and such. That is the kind of crazy foolishness that we still perpetuate here in Barbados. And none of them still don't realize. And that's why I'm talking about when the creative muse is with you. Everybody ain't got the gumption to talk like I talk. Everybody don't have the intelligence to expand on it like I do. But that doesn't mean that you don't have a voice. That's the difference. You cannot allow one person interpretation to make you believe that you cannot speak to anything. And that's the problem I have about here. No artist speaks up. No artist speaks up.
Why?
Because they're still buying to the undercover intimidation that is here.
They're scared?
They're very scared. They're scared of the self. They don't like to face the truth of them. They don't like to face. So they prefer to pass it off onto something. You want to know when they know an artist is speaking? Not when he talking about. Because check it now. A man get shoot at. And again shoot at. Each child get killed. But they say that he's who shoot the child. But it took them another 4 weeks before he could enter a court system. And it took them another 2 years before the final judgment could come down. And it was nowhere near what normally would be in the society. Where is the artist and creative voices that speaks to that? Forget Adonai and Hillel undercover faggot game about talking about two Barbadoses. He ain't seen one shit. He ain't seen nothing. Because basically, again, the artistic community and the creative personnel have been so intimidated that they have given up their voice, and they don't even know that they have given up their voice. You wait till one time in the year to talk about you bringing out information and music. Come on, it's only one time in the year that stuff is happening. So what happened? You have forsake your practice mode, because by the time you get to crop over, everybody can hear that you know do the thing last week, because it does not have that practice muscle to it. But that is the thinking that they've put you into, that the only time you're able to be relevant is around a 6-week period.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but that's the practicality of what happens. You hear people doing anything else before that time? No. But then I blame radio. Why should I blame radio in this particular?
Too much things, internet.
But that's what I'm saying. I ain't even want the damn internet. I will put up my music out here. I will put up my 2 speakers and blade. You're going to call the police and tell the police to turn it off.
Don't need radio anymore.
Huh? I will go and I will take a little tape and I will pass it to a DJ. Not the ones that everybody know. A little one now that in the country that now starting to play around the shops and stuff. I will go to the shops and say, look, hold up. I'm going to put down $100 there for the boys to have a drink. Play this song for me till they're done. You got to keep thinking outside the box and stop letting these people pigeonhole you as to what you should do and how you should do it. I said yesterday, if you see a politician, if you see a bureaucrat, run hard. Run. If you're a true creative person, run. Get on a plane and fly away fast. Do not go near none of them. Because they are trained to be suppressive and to get you. They're not going to allow you. Look, no disrespect everybody. They got people about here that is Castro fanatics. I respect and love Castro from one positioning. But when you come now and the suppression of the society is there, where my creative voices cannot be heard, you come back and do the same damn thing that you kick out Bastida for. So 1959 is the same thing like 2012, only in a different format.
It's the same thing.
Because as long as you suppress the creative voice, your society is doomed. As long as you suppress we might not think that the creative voice is suppressed here, but it is deeply suppressed because we do not get any originality. People got plastic bag as this thing. All he do is regurgitate stories. Where is the originality of writing? Where is the originality of storytelling? None. Because there's so much censorship. You go in the studio with somebody and before you can even finish the verse, God, the man won't tell you no, you can't put in that. How the hell you can do that? You gotta let the whole thing go open up first before we start editing. You know? Because you feel you're cutting the flow, you cut the flow.
And when you lose it, it's like so
but you
hard
can't
to
get it back. How the hell you can get it back? How you can get it back? Because it's called creative for a reason. I talk to people about chaos theory, where if you look into the black hole of chaos, that is what the universe came out of. But if you look in there, there's so much convolutions and stuff that you will freak out because there's no order. But out of that comes what we have. That's the same concept of creativity. It's a maelstrom of different emotions and things till you get to that point where it comes out as a man in the mirror. And as Beat It. And as Songs in the Key of Life. And as Bridgetown Market. Emerton. One day coming soon. These things can't come out if you got the person suppressed in terms of their senses, where things are impacting on them every day. I respect Gabby forever because of that one album. If I really listened to Gabby, I wouldn't want to deal with that whole Gabby because Gabby used to talk a whole bunch of shit. But that one album, One Day Coming Soon, brilliant. Brilliant. Emerton, world hit with the right hands on it.
So what happened then?
Because again,
You get censored?
obviously, if you don't know the story that Gabby was being, sued and legislation was placed where you couldn't even buy Gabby album by Tom Adams and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of things that people forget. I mean, you gotta be the
whole man.
You can even if it is not you, it is yours. Because as long as you're walking the creative lane, you know, well, look, there's the possibility of something like this happening to me. If I ever step out of the breach and really write the power of what I really want to speak to. And look, you can't beat up that because you never know. That's one of the things people that close to me don't understand about me. I would listen to anybody, I would let anybody come through. Because you never know. You can't determine that it is that pair of slippers, or is that those glasses that are going. No, the day that start happening to me, I'm going to stop this. The day that I get to the point where I'm saying, well, yeah, I can look at you and see, no. That's not what creative does. That's not what creative does. Creative is ever evolving and never building, muscle building, and then one day, they know. And it has its own marketing plan. It has its own publicity plan. You don't even have to go far. It develops and tell you, look, you know what? Because it's your child. Daddy, I want to go and climb over the gate because if I climb over the gate right now, bam, bam. But and the thing that we have stopped doing is listening to our inner voices. Because we become so academically stratified that we do not hear really where we are. We just do not hear it. So automatically, you got zombies walking around.
I wrote a piece yesterday morning. I was trying to write something for a performance I'm doing on the 5th of February, and it won't come. And yesterday, I just started. I said, well, let me see if I can go again. And I started. I went slow at first, and then I don't know what happened between the time I write to the time I finish, but I don't feel that I was the person writing the piece.
Thank you.
And when I look back at it, I couldn't believe that I wrote it.
One of the things.
So I write this?
Yeah, one of the stories that I was fortunate to be given, like when first going to Los Angeles, and because I also developing a film financing situation. It's in its embryonic stages where I want to be able to have at least $5 or $6 million at my disposal, where that if I see something that I like, I can throw $10, $15, $150,000 behind it without having it to become a success. So I have to separate the money that I get from the hardcore investment guys that we say, if we put out this, we got to see something coming back in this particular framing. And one of the stories that I was given is that years ago there was this guy that was a screenwriter, and he would be writing for eons, and nothing would happen. Nobody would pick up none of his stuff. And one morning he was writing about 3:30, and they said a leprechaun appeared, right? And the leprechaun told him to go to bed. And he was like, well, this leprechaun said, you go to bed. And when he got up the next morning, there were 3 or 4 screenplays written. And for 10 years, those screenplays that were written for him every year were successful for him. Things. You could believe it or not, because we grew up reading fairy tales, Grimm's and Aesop fables and stuff. If you look in that is the mythological land foundation that builds all of us. Because if we didn't have that mythological dynamic, a lot of us would go crazy. Yeah. We got our Inansi stories because we have to create from that volume, because if we don't do it, we grew up talking about the hard man. Nobody never see a hard man, but you believe, you know the story, you believe the point like that there's a hard man out there. Now, so I'm saying, when you do the right tapping, whatever the muse decides she is going to appear as will come. Whether it is that you see, you go back at it and you can't remember writing the piece. Whether there's some folklore about a leprechaun appearing, but the thing is, we have to get back to that. We have to get back to that. Many a time, for me, I was listening to a lot of stuff, and I hear the kernel of a good hit, but it's stopped short 3 or 4 months of development, because everybody is so consumed with trying to get to the public, but they don't get the money. They don't get the money. That's the unfortunate thing. You think like they's getting the money, they don't get the money. The one person that understands and know when to bring a product is the one person that will make the money. Because, as I keep saying, the product, if it is creatively fused rightly, speaks to the marketplace a way that the marketplace has to pay for it. That's why yesterday I said I've never had to ask anybody to manage them. Because if I have to ask you to manage you, I don't know what the hell I'm dealing with. Because if I'm not packaging my thing good enough to attract you.
Until you said that yesterday, I always wondered why it's like people or artists always find themselves trying to look a certain way for the managers to come to them, especially singers. They will say, okay, I don't know who out in the crowd, so I can go and look a certain way or act a certain way to get that person's attention.
Well, I call it the whore factor. Both male and female whore factoring. I don't care how you look. Because if you are packaging to come to me, I don't want to see you, because that means I ain't seeing who you are. So that means now you want me to work towards what you presenting, and that might be not what you are. So next, we spent 6 years, and next, we still ain't find you because you came the first time with your Hollywood makeup on. So we never saw who you are, and so we went down a wrong direction because we thought
that's why artists tend to change.
Thank you.
Because you would see one body come out in this cookie cutter good girl look, and then 2 or 3 years later, or 4 or 5 years later, this body banging and rocking and wearing different things, shorter shorts or
but you
different
see,
hair. And
the problem is that people mistaken imagery with creativity. And that's where we get into the science of the whole thing. Presentation ain't got nothing to do with creativity. Get your creativity and get your craft done right, and then we'll work with quick presentation. Then we'll work with presenting in certain forums. But when you mix it up and thinking that because you come out, we're here this way, and you going on pom sharps, and you grinning here, so that means that you're selling yourself to somebody. That's whoring. There's nothing else. There's not a better word for it. That's whoring. So if you're a whoring, you're gonna end up as a whore. You get in $2 till the pimp decide they didn't want you no more. And if you look at the vastness of what goes on in the community here, it's the whore and pimp. I use you till I get to a point where I don't want to use you no more, so I go on to the next person. And that's not the fault of the actual pimp. It's the fault of the person that continuously perpetuate that stupidity. Because I got to go and speak to this one. If I was not on that panel, a lot of people ain't gonna come up to me. Because we got this whoring syndrome, or who is he? Who he works with. So if he doesn't work with someone that I can recognize immediately, no, I'm not going near him. If I'd have walked in yesterday with Todd, the whole game would be different. I would have not got out of there. That asshole didn't get up and even speak. So furthermore, if I walk in and bring in, if I say, Jay, I'm going down to Barbados, get the private jet, just give me an hour, baby. Give me an hour and you're gone. And then we set up the marketplace, we set up the thing word through certain thing. Hey man, look, the big dog wants a couple of people to just hit Barbados for 2 hours. Let's go there, say hello to the kids, bam, bam, bam. It'll be a different demeanor. Now I'm managing a Barbadian that at the top of the game. But that is not anything in it. That is not anything. But I'm telling you, if the word is saying, if I come in there yesterday and say I doing consultancy for bam, 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 and I take out my phone and I take out certain things and show, different story. Totally different story. CBC would have dropped me in Hilton and said, I got to get an instant interview because we are going to punch it straight into Saturday Night News, so you cannot leave.
Why is it that Barbados thinks it's only good when it left and it get labor outside to come back?
Because
it's not good when
I don't want to go. I don't know if you ever heard about the Willie Lynch thing. Yeah. Even though Willie Lynch set up the parameter that we should have followed, in that he exported. Willie Lynch exported his content to another country and influenced that country. Somehow, it has become reversed for us that psychologically we only clutch onto it when it comes from outside. Okay. Whether it is, you know the amount of Bajans that I can introduce you to that are deep and heavy in the entertainment world. And one thing they've asked me, Pete, do not call our names. Please don't. We don't want to go through that anymore. We went through that already. Those people are not nice. I was fortunate to be living when former Prime Minister or the Honorable Errol Barr approached Austin Clark and brought him home to Barbados to work at CBC, and then threw him straight under the bus. And I love Errol Barr, respected him. But when it comes to creativity, none of them steps up to the table, brought home Austin Clark, put him on CBC. Clark, he start making CBC pump, making CBC hum. Bugger down. Bar tree up on the bus and laughing. Subsequently, most of our prime ministers do that. When Erskine Sandiford brought home Dr. Paris, a brilliant guy, and then threw him onto the bus. When he told me that he had a meeting with the former prime minister who was then the Minister of Culture, David Thompson, and he told me he went in the door and David tell him when he leave the back door. And I asked him, did you tell the motherfucker go fuck his mother? You leave through who back door? Are you a fucking idiot little boy? He said, but P.E. the minister. I said, E.D. the minister. So? And you are a big so-and-so doctor that have done so many things. You can tell you about go through the back door. But the creative community is get dumb and deaf when it comes to politicians. They don't realize that politicians are the dirg of everything that they're doing. So they don't, a politician will come here and skin him up with you, but that don't mean you could go tomorrow and get nothing happen. But later on, then black plantocracy owners call him. He can't wait to get up to the house now, then before the guy put down the phone, he in the house grinning into, yes, master. Yes, I'm here, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Oh, yeah, you said that there's a guy called Peter Headley here. He is causing trouble. Okay. I'll call the Attorney General, and the Attorney General will call the Commissioner of Police. We will have the task force by his house in less than an hour. What he's given, what kind of trouble? We'll make sure that we knows what kind of trouble he's given, and he will be in prison, or we will make sure that he's shot. But you tell them that. Oh no, you got it wrong, Diantro. Challenge me and show me that I got it wrong. Challenge me and show me that I got it wrong. But what happens is because the creative community just sitting back waiting for them to come and pull them along by the nose. The day that the creative community get the vagina, not the balls will get beat up real bad. And we can't take a lot of lashes. Them balls just can't take enough lashes. But a vagina could take some lashes and come back. Vagina could take a lot of lashes and keep coming. So I've developed a good vagina. You know? So until the creative community develop a vagina where they can really go in there and get beat and still come back. I could come here 10 years from now and still be speaking to the same bullshit. One man is coming and talking about the music business because it can be the same thing. Only what can happen now is the kids now going to be adults and talking the same nonsense. Yeah. I can tell people I been doing this when I'm 19 years old. 19. All I've ever talked about is music business management, and I was deemed to be mad. I never went to jail. I never raped nobody. I never steal knife from nobody. I never get put before the court. But I was deemed to be mad. I was deemed to don't deal with him. Peter misbehaving, and all I doing is saying, but listen. If anybody goes back to all the articles that I wrote in the Nation in the 80s and the 90s, the common thread is setting up your structuring for touring, merchandising, better studio management. When Rihanna landed back here, that was me. Yes, my name might not have been affiliated with it, but that was what I was talking about 20 years ago, that if we do it right, we can get somebody from our own land to be able to operate like that. Unfortunately, because we don't want to be real, we let her get away and somebody else package her. Because even though Rihanna is managed by Americans, we should have had at least a sub-lawyer in there learning what's going on. We should have had at least a personal assistant that is guided to say, listen, you will learn this. Bob Marley did it when he started to go. He took Diane Jacobson with him. So he said, look, you is the lawyer, but you don't know the international market. So we can sit down and learn how these boys do it. He took people with it. We don't have that psychology. Because nobody embarrassing want to go to learn. I want to go, I want to be with she, I control, and I want to say, Adisa, Ada, Haja. Me and he like is this here. We had to come here together. We smoke pot, drink herb, drink pear leaf tea, man, everything you can think about. Me and he. And when he approached me in 1999, 2000 and said, look, Pete, I got this album here and I want you to look at it for me. I didn't care what it sounded like. That's my dog. So I got to make it happen. And I started to work. I had the internet just coming up. He became number one on the internet radio. I had the internet. I had it on all the college TV programs in New York. And we banging. He took me and introduced me to a lady called Cassandra Goings. At the time, Cassandra has just come off working with the Marleys. He took me up to Cassandra's office, introduced me, we talked, gone home. The next afternoon, my phone rang, and Cassandra said, hey, Peter, this is Cassandra Goings. You remember me from yesterday? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, listen, the whole of the industry asking one question. How this song, so that bad song, the album, you get it to be number one? Pete, man, want to know, what you know? I took him to all the conferences, got a walk and everybody thing. I took his merchandise down to a Nashville conference with all the big music dogs, and we never get beat because we ran out. People that vex, we ain't got no more. Because I had it packaged, I had the CD packaged in a nice zip bag, like a little beach thing, you know, little poster, blah blah blah, boom. And for the time, you get a little bit, you know, the government start to talk to he and the Goddards to want to bring he in and talk. I was in Barbados. He had just left my house 2 weeks before, and I came down to Barbados behind him because my dad died the same Saturday that he left. And now this is 2 weeks, you know, this motherfucker in my house. I leave him work and carry him to all the meetings. Def Jam was just getting ready to put up their Def Jam poetry. Russell Simmons, we had a meeting with Russell Simmons about opening up, giving him an opportunity with Def Jam in the Caribbean. I come back to Barbados to bury my dad. I called him. He told me that I got to get an appointment with him to meet him. I said, cool. He went to a meeting with the Goddards. And while he in the meeting, phone at my mother's house ring. And you know how them white Barbadians start, Peter?
Yeah.
This fool here think that we ain't understand that he ain't getting that because you were here talking and we want to know who you is. I said, don't worry about him, man. The last tour and the only tour that he did in Europe was through me. But what happened? Here he comes and he gets, you know, certain connections or so I'm not valuable or I'm not viable. It didn't bother me because we doing now pimping and scraping. Pimping and scraping. I ain't gonna go and work for the blasted political people to get the money. I ain't gonna run behind Algic's ass. I ain't gonna be pimping behind the NCF every year to think, no. I keep doing what I do, manage people. And every day people is coming. It's me that's turned back. Every day I get offers, hey Pete, man, look. You can manage me? Nope. You can't pay me, baby. I just tell anybody, Mama Bear needs to be fed. Need sharper dollars. Bitches need to be fed. You know. No, you know, the term has got a lot of people turned off, and I like it. But it's real. I have to keep people out there, whether they're men, women, or children, and give them some feed. Because if I stop feeding, my low house will kick my ass. And my wife knows that. So when look, as I said yesterday, I didn't speak it a certain way because you know little children did. But I would tell my wife point blank, you bother me, I can call Big Bossy Susie. And little Bobby Bertha. And she'd be like, look, I can pack your clothes. I say, you can pack my clothes, but you can't buy them house. Because all I'm saying, it, a lot of people, it's hard when you say bitches need to be fed is derogative. No, it ain't not nothing to do with the personal body. It's that you got to feed wrong you. That's what creativity is. That's what creativity is about, that you feed people. I'm not saying that if you walk in here, I can take up $10,000 and give you ass. Well, I know you. It ain't like that. I'm not talking that shit. But you got people that you know, point blank, look, they know, look.
Yeah, it's your family.
You know, not family. You know, family's the worst people to deal with when you're doing creativity. Look, Mark Sweat said to me years ago, forget family. It took me 10 to 15 years to understand what he meant. I thought you mean don't speak to them and all that kind of shit. But it ain't about don't speak to them, but you got to get them on your psyche. You got to get them on your psychological profile. If you truly want to be creative, you cannot keep your family in your game. Mother, father, sister, brother, none of them. Because they're not going to understand what you're dealing with, and they always want to bring you back. No matter what that little boy just wrong, but why no, I slap you wrong here. He's my younger brother, I slap you wrong here. So how you can come tell me, but he coming, watch you perform, and then suddenly, no. Keep them out, keep them out, keep them out. You can't be truly creative if you keep them in. No. You see what people don't understand? You might got an entity called a mother. But that person could be your enemy from a past life.
I believe so.
So you're wondering, why I ain't do nothing? Why every blast I tell you we fighting all the time? Don't care what he do. There's some destructive element that she brings to the table. Me and my brother, he'd be wrong, but she would turn around and make sure that it is he that right. Why is that? And you're calling yourself my mother. Just a vessel, baby. Just a vessel that was used for you to come into this entity. But because they psychologically beat us down, I asked somebody to talk about money, we get all ignorant and foolish and throw away a whole $1 million deal. Because somebody tell you about your mother, who cares? You could tell me any fuck about my mother. I don't worry about that. Fuck you. You could go and tell she that too. You could go, look, you could go in for my mother and tell she fuck she. That's she problem and yours, not mine. Not mine. Because you know why? I was 13 years old. And at school evening, and me and this guy get into this bustle. And I come home and trying to sneak in the house, got all the back of my shirt dirty. And, you know, poor boy, only 2 shirts, 1 pants. So, you know, you wear 2 shirts Monday, Tuesday, you wear the next 2 shirts Wednesday, Thursday, you put on the other shirt Friday. So mommy can kill your god daddy if no she gotta bring the second shirt up to the first cycle. So you're trying to ease in the house now, hope that she didn't home long enough that you could at least run in the tub and scrub it and put it somewhere that she can't see. But no, the little old woman ain't got nowhere. Peter, come here. No, yes, mom. But what happened? Get in a fight. But I tell you, you can't fight. Cheese on bread, man. And then she ain't been telling me that I can't fight because she want me to be a wuss. It was economic practicality. You know what I mean? Look, if you fight, you sure get here. What the hell I gonna do? You gotta go to school, you know? Anyway. Alright, okay. What do you fight about? He told me that my mother is a whore. She's a whore. She said, I can tell you what. Promise me that you will never fight again because all women are whores. So you don't have to fight with a boy for saying that your mother's a whore. I'm 13 years old. So that never bothered me again. You could tell me anything about my mother. It don't bother me. But when you get gritty like that, everybody can get gritty like that because they got this mother syndrome, you know, like, ooh. That ain't, them and the mother don't really get on well, you know, but it's a pretend dynamic. Because society says that you must say that you like your mother best.
Need by hurry in the camera game, though.
Alright, before we go on, for that day, one last thing I wanted to know was, do you think that artists take themselves seriously? Well, Bajan artists, do they take themselves seriously?
But they don't know what they are as artists, so they can't take themselves serious. When as I go back to the thread again, when they're whoring, when today there's this thing, tomorrow there's the next thing, the next day there's something else. So if they don't know what they are as artists, automatically there's no philosophy behind where you can work from. They got to know who they are as artists. You got to stick to what you are. You can't be jumping every different setting. You know, you don't eat all the food on the table one time.
Yeah.
You take selections. But if you every minute, everywhere, all over the place, any food could come up to you and tell you that there's a manager. Any food could come up to tell you that they've got money for you. You gone. You don't ask no questions. You don't try to do no due diligence on them. Come on. What kind of artist you are? You can't be a real artist. A real artist has got to face realities that nobody else faces. Because when that creative muse start to kick inside your ass, sometimes you write down shit that when you come out of that trance, you don't even realize. And then you is turning around and edit it.
Yeah, it's true.
Now the creative muse came and give it to you. And you ain't reading, pardon my French, I feel as a man, you dick hard. That is a woman, you're running. Huh? You take it so because the creative muse give it to you and you turn around there and do so.
It's so true.
So you can't step into the platform and call yourself an artist. So then when people start to edit you, and then you can't blame nobody because you who started the process. You is the person who started that process. As my wife is always laugh because every time she come home and tell me about one of she friends going problem is that she needs fucking. She said, but Pete, Jesus Christ, everybody needs sex. I say, yep. I say, yep. Some good sex. I say when somebody getting good sex, they don't be as grumpy. They don't walk around with their face down in the ground. They don't think, I say, I got a 13-year-old daughter that is autistic. Mild, not heavy. But she's big, tall, just tall as me and developing good breasts and things. And she might all panicking, but oh, Peter, you gotta get your gun. I said, what? But you know, I said, listen, darling, let me explain that to you. I feel if she got fucked, believe me, the autism might go in. You know? I said, look, as long as nobody enforce she, I cool. Correct. Trust me. As long as I ask you, she can understand. Daddy, I say, they enforce you, because if they force you, they could live in the White House. I will walk into the White House and kill them. As long as she happy and it happen cool, enjoy yourself, think about it. Do your thing, darling. Because that is creative muse. It's only when it's coming to the society and you could only fuck when you're one or when you're this age and a lot. That's why people start fucking at 19 and don't even realize why they're fucking. They don't know how to fucking. They don't enjoy the sex. They be married for 30 years and then enjoy sex for 25. Also, because I only fuck my wife on Thursdays and Tuesdays and all sorts of foolish ignorant crap. And lose the creativity of what's going on. The creative muse follows everything. But we is the people who's cut it off. And then blame a manager and blame a politician and blame this body. I don't blame nobody. Listen, to try every fuck about Peter Headley. But when I just walk with the creative muse. I don't pretend about it. If I got a curse, I will curse your ass back into your mother and back wrong your ass again. I don't give a shit. Because the creative muse will tell me when to make my move. So when you thinking that I can come through that door there, I will go through the roof garden and walk across the trees over there and still get where you want to go because you're following your creative muse. But we continually give away that energy and power and then blame. When they wanted to break down the walls of Jericho, what the news? The octaves. So they walk around the Jericho, and they keep walking around. And then when the sound waves hit a certain capacity, bugger down the walls tumble. The Jamaicans, the Rasta people, is pay lip service to word, sound, and power. Because in Africa, they got some old men that if they come here and whisper 2 words at you, everything part of you would tremble and drop off. 2 words. They would look up in the skies and point, and planes drop. Word power. That is creative music, but you know we stop that. We cut off that. And then we blame all sorts of other crap. All sorts of other crap for what's going on. You know, if you get a little baby tomorrow, and every morning you get up and you whisper in this baby, you're the most gorgeous, most intelligent, most powerful person. The baby can't understand what you're saying. But I'm telling you, by 5 years old, that baby gonna be moving a certain way, and nobody ain't gonna understand why that baby moving that way. Word power. You said the same way you doing your thing, and then you get a man that don't know nothing about creativity. So every time you come up somewhere, you gotta be fucking somebody. If you come in late, you're fucking somebody. If you're in your bed right, you're fucking somebody. But after time, it just depresses you. You start exhibiting some crazy shit because why? You go on with a fucking idiot that he's scared because you know he can't fuck good, so he feel that everything you do is fucking. So even when you're going out there really vibing and thinking, he can't appreciate. But you stick with that person. Men is do it too. Get with a woman and just get somebody call and say, hey, listen, man, I got a tour for you 6 weeks. 6 weeks, man. I could only pay you $2,000 a week, but look, 6 weeks, 6 solid solo weeks. You come home and tell a woman, listen, man, baby, this man want me to go away for 6 weeks. You know, you can pay me $2,000 a week. You sure? Alright, boy. But you know, God, the day you get money playing, by the night that you get, she calling, I miss you. When you coming back? But just stay blasted. I going for 6 weeks. But she gonna horn till that man get money playing God did you with less than a week gone. And when you see now, and you ask him, but when I hear you had a good opportunity, what happened? So she missed me. I said, she missed you? I know a musician friend that left here. And before the man playing, he had a man in his house banging where she belly. And when he find out, the man turned right back already and come back off the gig that he had. So when I did find it 6 months later, I see what I do. Well, if she gonna fuck, whether you going or whether you're going. So you can tell me you give up your shit because of what? Everybody's asking me what being married to a bedroom, man. So who? Me? You got to be kidding me, boy. If I been married to a bedroom woman, I could not be here doing what I do. I could tell anybody that. First again, all the barbers who know my business. Because you're married to a bedroom woman, there's no disrespect to you. You ain't only married to she, you're married to she mother. And then, if she got another sister too, she might get a little player. So now you married to 3 people and you don't even know 2 of them. Cause every fuck you do, she can tell she mother. And then she ain't gonna make the decision before she mother tells you this is what's going on. So what happened? By the time it get back to you, it got so much baggage on it. And you wondering why you gotta fight about a simple situation. But because nobody don't guide you in that dynamic, you don't understand how to break it down. Because you know it's your mother. You're saying things against my mother. So, 2 nice people, marriage, relationship, mashup. Gone through the door.
You got any questions for Barry about working with Peter?
How is it? Do you keep up?
It's exciting, it's challenging, and I need it. It's needed. Because within Barbados, as a musician or an entertainer, there are other people who can tap into it right now. On the business side, there's nobody. I went to certain people time back and asked questions, and they just literally tell me that I need to stop what I'm doing because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah? Like Peter, he said, okay, so we want to do, let's start. Okay. And we started in 2009. He actually brought me back in 2008. I went to the Bermuda Symposium Conference in New York. After that, we came back and we put on our own workshop, Saturday on Table. Okay. After that workshop, we met a whole bunch of youngsters, which formed the band that we did for Jazz Festival in 2010. And from there, just keep growing and keep growing.
What is the most valuable thing he's ever taught you?
To believe in myself and do it and love it. Or on top of that, if you love it enough, you can walk away from it and start over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that statement alone, bear in mind, we could walk away from it. You get to the top. Don't hold on to the top because you there or what you with. No. Keep it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to like that. Cool.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Not a problem.
Zingha 2012.